One of Sega's biggest mistakes during the Saturn era was how it failed to capitalize on some of the more established franchises on the console. While series like Panzer Dragoon and Knights would become cult classics, games like Streets of Rage, Echo the Dolphin, and even the main series Sonic title were unfortunately absent. One of the classic franchises we did get was a new entry in the Golden Axe series, but it's not the return to the beat-em-up genre you were hoping for. Golden Axe the Duel was released in Japanese arcades in 1994, and for the Saturn in the coming years. Being the last game in the franchise before its resurrection 13 years later with Golden Axe Beast Rider, Golden Axe the Duel is a departure for the beat-em-up series, in that this game is a straight-up one-on-one 2D fighting game. When you start up the game, you've only got two options, arcade and versus. It's pretty bare bones, but I spend most of my time in arcade mode in fighting games anyways. Besides, it's all about the fighting, but we'll get to that in a little bit. There's 10 characters that span the Golden Axe universe, but only one is a returning character, Death Adder. There is Gilius, but technically he's a descendant of the original Gilius, and who cares? It's Gilius! Unlike most 2D fighters of the era, except, say, Samurai Showdown, Golden Axe the Duel is a weapons-based fighter, being that each character has a specific weapon, which determines their moveset. In the grand scheme of things, though, it's your standard 6-button fighting game, high, medium, and low for punches and kicks, which works great on the Saturn pad. Combat is pretty easy to get into, depending on your character of choice. The special moves fall under the traditional fighting game standard of quarter circles and charges, which, thank God! So many third-rate fighting games would try to reinvent the wheel for special moves just to stand out, but turn out worse for it, so it's nice that Golden Axe sticks with what works. The one thing that makes Golden Axe the Duel stand out from other 2D fighters is how you build meter for super moves. Rather than having it build over time, Golden Axe brings in those dumb little gnomes. Like in past games in the series, you gotta hit these dudes in the middle of a fight to get them to drop magic. Once you've picked up 5 of these, you can activate a power-up mode that increases your attack power and speed. This is also the only time that you can activate your super moves. I would have much rather preferred a traditional meter building system, but this is kind of a cool callback to the series. Fighting has a decent pace to it as well. There's dashing and special moves that can launch you across the screen, so you're always constantly in the fight. You can even change the game speed in the options menu, just in case you want stuff to move faster, because it's a fighting game, and of course you do. Everything about the mechanics feels perfectly serviceable, and I had fun with what I played. Sure, the AI is all kinds of cheap in the way that 2D fighting game AI has always been, but I was still having a good time. But I couldn't shake the feeling that I was kind of wasting my time with this one. I mean, I'd rather spend my time playing Cyberbots or Street Fighter Alpha 2. Nothing wrong with the game, it just doesn't do anything special or meaningful that pushes the boundaries of the genre. Golden Axe the Duel is fine at what it does, but there's nothing here to keep me around after a couple games in arcade mode. It ends up feeling like a cash grab for the Golden Axe license more than anything. The presentation, though, feels like anything but. The 2D visuals look pretty outstanding, with tons of color and some good animations. It goes for a unique style all its own, and it's probably the big defining feature of this game. The characters themselves could fit right at home in a Saturday morning cartoon. They have some personality and toot. I mean, look at Gilius, damn! The Saturn's expertise at showing some impressive 2D visuals really come to a head with this game. It's just a shame that it feels like it was wasted on this title. In the end, Golden Axe the Duel is just okay. I'm admittedly not a big fan of the Golden Axe games, but I would have rather seen a proper beat-em-up in the series with the amount of care and attention to its presentation that this game has. Instead, we get a subpar fighting game on a system with an overabundance of great fighting games, some being the best in the genre. It leaves me with giving this game a low recommendation. A North American copy can send you back $60+ if you want to complete, but you can always find a Japanese copy for about $20 or so. You can do so much better if you want a good fighter on the Saturn, but if it's all you have, then I suppose it's better than nothing.